Certainly give it to our next guest, the one, the only. Well, he's not the only because he's the third. George Bryan III could certainly gain membership to the Dunes Club if he so desired. Welcome in, George. How are you? How was your day at the beach?
Oh, absolutely beautiful. And I tell you, you rolled across some names. I hadn't heard that one, what you mentioned as far as I thought Myrtle Beach was, the golf capital of the world.
That too.
With all the golf courses over here. And I heard some more terms. It's high season for golf. However, I don't know what you would call beaches that aren't too crowded. I would say it could be low season for beaches, but high season, deep season for golf. And not a better place to highlight golf than right here in Myrtle Beach. And the PGA Tour is here. You just mentioned that, the Myrtle Beach Classic. Absolutely spectacular. The host club, the Dunes Club, it is beautiful. The volunteers, the staff, just like Southern host, and it doing a spectacular job. Fabulous. And the weather's just right, not too hot, not too cold, a little breeze. Food and the spirits are high. The golf scores are not ridiculously low, and it'll be really fun to see just how they set or allow the course. I heard this morning, first thing, they literally had to let the green slow down a little bit, and that is the protection here at the Dunes Club. So, thanks for having. This is a Thursday night. Special edition.
We'll do our normal tomorrow. We'll do our normal tomorrow night, but I wanted to have you on since you're down there and you got your two boys down there. But what did you think of the layout? How of the PGA venues that you have visited this year? Looking at the layout and how the PGA does things. What did you think of what they did for today's round?
I thought the PGA Tour set it up beautifully. You could play golf out of the rough. The greens were holding, and like I said earlier, they literally, and this is hearsay, nothing was confirmed by the super. They don't check in with me to update me, believe it or not. They probably don't even know who I am. And by the way, Phil, you have to be invited to be members of clubs like this, and no, they have not invited me to be a member here, and probably would not. However, it is probably, of the courses I've seen on the PGA Tour, this has got to be tied for one all the way around. I mean, it's just a good old traditional golf course, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching the golf, and I think, I hadn't listened to any interviews. I've spoken with my children. They enjoyed the golf course thoroughly, and so I think it's tied for first with my favorite on the PGA Tour. How
All right,
about that?
So I love it. Now, you talked to George and you talked to Wesley. Tell me what they had to say about the course and what they thought about their respective rounds. Let me just update things. Wesley came in at -1, I believe it was. Yes, -1. That's 70. And GB4 came in at +2, a 73. So what did they think of their rounds? What did they think of the layout?
Well, the layout, they love it. They love the layout. Wesley was really good hitting his golf ball, hit a lot of good putts. The score was not reflective of how well he played. George hit the ball exceptionally well with his irons. A little bit of trouble with his driver, but still, compared to most, he's still pretty good, even when his driver's a little bit off. He shot a couple over the score. Probably was the highest he could have shot, and they look good. And some of the other players, I was looking. We got a great pairing with. Oh goodness! And just drawing just a terrible trace. Oh my goodness! He played it all. Help me out, George. G4 was paired with him.
I'm looking. I'm going down the list. Trace Atkins, the singer? No. Trace.
No, I ain't close.
No.
I feel I'm just.
Oh,
really
Trace Crow.
Trace Crow.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's the first time I have watched him play since junior golf. I didn't watch him much. This kid is really good. everybody on the PGA Tour is really good, but it was kind of funny. I think he was raised in Easley. I didn't get the whole story. In fact, I don't know much about his story at all, other than he played a little bit in SCJGA, and everywhere he played in junior golf was really good. Just don't know that much about him, but he's on the PGA Tour now, and wow, his game is solid. So, unfortunately, Ben Martin, he had a little bit of – he played through it. He was a couple over today, but I did see him at the end of the day. He said he didn't say much about it. Said he wasn't feeling his best. Now, I'm not sure what that meant. But when Ben Martin, he is not a man of a lot of words to start with, and I just let that one. I looked at the score. He told me he did his best, and he just wasn't at his best. So I'm guessing he wasn't feeling well. But I'll tell you what, he's got 3 precious children. In fact, he's got a new one, Ben, and I'm not sure. I don't know if that's a junior or not, but he's got a little Ben that must be just a few months old, and he looks just exactly like his dad. And then Francis and Ann Pierce are his precious little girls, and I was able to spend a little time with them, or at least gave them a hug at the end of the day. And Jonathan Bird's here. Jonathan didn't have his best day. And you've got the whole leaderboard in front of you, and I'm sure you've been updating and talking about the South Carolina folks that are in the event.
What about a few comments on Matt Atkins out of USC Aiken, and he's got the best score of the locals.
2 under par. I did see him yesterday and Tuesday, and his game is solid right now. In fact, feeling really good about it. I didn't talk to him after his round today, but Phil, of all that I've seen up close, I've not seen anybody have control of their golf ball as Crashkins has it right now. So he's got some nicknames. If you hang around golf enough, you'll get one, too, more than one. You already do. We got a number of nicknames for you, Phil. But
yeah.
Crashkins.
None of them can be re-quoted on the air, my nicknames, but,
I saw
one of my nicknames is Hoover. One of my nicknames is Hoover because I suck. So I don't know if that's usable or not, but it kind of fits.
So bad.
Oh my goodness! And we got somebody. Who else? I tell you, I saw Jonathan Bowden. He's not in the field, but he's a coach, golf coach, and his brother, I call it Daniel, is former Korn Ferry Tour player and teacher. And anyway, I saw the Bowden brothers, or one of the Bowdens here this week, and there was somebody else that I was you're not helping me. Who are the locals that we're not speaking of that we hadn't brought out?
I mentioned Carson Young, 2 under, and
Okay,
DJ
good.
is 1 under, and Haas is 1 under, and McGirt is even, and Novak is +1, and Neesmith is +1, and JB is +1. Mentioned Ben Martin, 2 gloves is +2, and Kisner's +3.
I see Tommy Gainey at +2. You probably already mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
And is Scott Brown in the field? I did not.
Do not see his name. Do not see
I
his name.
I did say hello to Kevin Kisner. What a fine young fella he is. And I think we've covered the locals and the scores. The way the golf course played in the afternoon, especially late, the wind switched a bit and came in hot and hard late in the afternoon. I don't know what it was like early in the morning, but as we've talked about in the past, there's a late early wave, and that's the wave that Brian boys went in. Brian Bros, they're late early, so they go off really early in the morning. Ben Martin, I think he's the opposite, early late. That might be to his benefit. And I'll just say weather seems to be changing over here, so anytime fronts come through, that kind of nullifies this flip-flop. Usually wind doesn't blow as much in the morning, but when you're on the coast, like I said, might throw that out the window. But I want to go back to where I started. Very surprised at the beautiful way the PGA Tour set it up. A lot of times when it says PGA Tour, they just grow the rough up really high. The fairways are ridiculously narrow. Greens are firm and fast. You hear it sounds like it lands on cement hitting the greens. But these greens are firm. Don't get me wrong. They are very fast, but the balls will stay. The rough is playable, and the golf is just a lot of fun to watch. And here's the best part. The event is spectacularly attended. Thursday crowds today were I don't want to compare right now. I haven't been at all the events this year, but for a Thursday, absolutely spectacular for Myrtle Beach in South Carolina.
Super.
Well attended. Yeah, so appreciate you letting me be on a Thursday night, and I'll call that's a bit of a mulligan.
Well, hang on,
George. Before you go,
Bergie's got a question
before you go,
for you.
we have to talk about the story of the day, and that's the 16-year-old amateur Blades Brown. You've been around PGA golf for a long, long time. Can you put into perspective his 72 today and his first opportunity to play on the tour?
Oh my goodness, a 16-year-old. You know what? I think I saw this young fella in the dining area yesterday, and but a 16-year-old first event, 72 here. That is spectacular. Now, I don't know. I hope he's from South Carolina. Tell me he's from South Carolina.
That I do not know. Let me look and find out.
Yeah,
that would be a lot of fun. But that is a spectacular score today for anybody. In fact, he tied several tour players that are home state Clemson, South Carolina graduates, and beat a 3-time All-American named G4, and Ben Martin was an All-American also, and he was one shot better than both of those guys. Let me see here. His name is what?
Blades Brown.
Blades Brown.
Yeah, he's from Tennessee.
Well, Blades Brown had him a day, and my guess is he thinks he's going to play a lot more tomorrow. He's probably got one thing on his mind, and that's playing the weekend. Nothing like playing on the PGA Tour on the weekend. I don't know what that feels like. I just know it's more fun to play all four.
Hey,
but that's awesome.
In that particular case, we're the same. I don't know the feeling either.
Well,
of course, you do know what it's like to play. The first couple of days. You got that feeling.
Yeah, and this game's a lot of fun. I strongly recommend anybody out there that hadn't tried it, well, you got to. Now's the time. I went to a place Tuesday night. We haven't spoken about it on our show, Pop Strokes. Now, that's something that Tiger Woods came up with. And, Phil, this is at Bergie, anybody out there listening, this is a must-try. I am so impressed. I love it, and I will be back. The green, so it's 18 holes of putting only, and the putting course is absolutely spectacular.
Where's it located?
Not too far from where we are right here in Myrtle Beach at the Dunes Club. And, my logistics are a little off somewhere in that 65th Avenue range, not too far, just a block or so from the convention center. And I think that's where the baseball field is, and Top Golf. It's right beside Top Golf.
Well, listen, I know you got to go. I want to just say this before you leave us. If you're looking to have some fun while you're down in Myrtle Beach, once you're finished watching the golf, I'm going to give a shout-out to, I know you love playing putt-putt, so you want to go right there, not too far from where you are, Professor Hacker's putt-putt course, finest putt-putt course in Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach. Okay, go give that a whirl. It'll test you. Professor Hackers. Look for Professor Hackers. Take the family, take the bride. And then you want to go ride, who doesn't go to the beach and want to ride go-karts? You want to go to a place right there as you cross into North Myrtle Beach, coming out of Myrtle Beach, called The Track. It's just called The Track. And
you're speaking my language,
George, take the boys. It's got a great arcade, but it's got 2 go-kart tracks, and they're not flat tracks. You go up. You go around circles, and you go up about, 200-300 feet off the ground, and then you come down this big ramp. It'll take your breath away. So Shout out to the
I gotta
track
say-
and shout out to Professor Hackers down there in Myrtle Beach for everybody who's down there.
I got to tell you, and it's been a while since I've been over at this time of year, and it knocks a few miles off the tread. It's taken a few years off that age. It makes me feel really, really young. It makes me want to do young things.
That's what you
Putt,
do when
putt,
you're down at the
golf.
beach. Exactly.
Hey, well, appreciate y'all having me on, and I look forward to tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow night, George. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Thanks, George.
See you.
Yeah, you go to the beach, it's hard to concentrate on anything but having fun.
Exactly.
That's why I could never work at the beach. Working at the beach would be really difficult because I don't want to be at the beach all the time or playing golf all the time or riding go-karts or something. I'd get no work done at the beach. Okay, we'll hit the break, and we'll be back in a moment. Don't go away.